Hey guys, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. I know it's been a while, been crazy times as well. We're in COVID, that's still happening. Seems like that's dragging on forever, but let me tell you a bit about why there's been no content on this channel. Basically, work kicked off. I worked in the travel industry. COVID's obviously impacted that massively, so I had a lot to sort out. I've now left my full-time employment to focus solely on content creations, because before I wasn't having the time to get the content up regularly, or as regularly at least that I would like for you guys. With a channel like this, with football, you're supposed to be doing match previews, match reviews, predictions, all of that good stuff. That's now going to happen. So we are back with regular videos. I want to say thank you very much for your patience. I know we've got a lot of new subscribers, even over the past couple of months without the content going up. Welcome to you guys. Welcome along for the ride. Now we're back. Start with a match preview ahead of tomorrow's game away at Newcastle. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of the game itself, I just want to tell you a bit about my thoughts on the season so far, really. Very much like what I'm seeing from the boys, actually. Talking about Chelsea, of course. Very happy with the way things go in. I've got this sense of optimism that I haven't had for a long time. We've obviously got Frank Lampard at the helm, who every Chelsea fan, most Chelsea fans, disclaimer, you know, knows and loves. And if you're my age, you grew up watching him and he was a real hero. Him, JT, you know, the real backbone of the squad. It's nice to have a manager or a man in charge that we can now get behind. And I've got this sense of unity that I haven't had for quite some time now. And yeah, it's a new project. It is a project. It's not going to happen overnight. I know he's got his doubters and his haters, and that's fine, because so far there hasn't been a great deal to shout about. We come in the top four, which is what we aimed for in his first season in charge. That was done just on the final day against Wolves, scraping over the line, but we got the job done. Now it's time to turn a corner. And I think this season is the start of that. A lot of managers come in and they say, we're going to play my way. I've got my own style. I'm going to stamp my authority. And it doesn't always happen. But at the moment with Lampard, it is happening. We're seeing that. We look very, very good going forward. Obviously, we've got pacey players. We've got Timo. We've got Christian Pulisic. They're the obvious ones. We've got the pressing ability of Mason Mount, who knows, you know, who Frank knows inside out, relies on him, trusts him very much. And that's important, that relationship between the manager and his players and his team. And that not only goes out onto the pitch, but also around the training ground, around the dressing room as well. It's important to have that core group of players that has trust in the manager, and the manager has trust in them. And everybody that puts on a Chelsea shirt knows that Lampard done it better than most. So you've got to pull your weight. Then there's the player that I'm probably the most hyped about. Is a new signing, and that is Ziyech. Now, I am buzzing with what I've seen from him. Obviously, he's been out injured. There was a bit of anticipation, him coming in. Would he be overshadowed by the likes of Kai Havertz, the guys we've already got? Would he even work his way back into the team? And I think it's pretty clear that, yeah, he's done that, and he has hit the ground running. And why am I so hyped about Ziyech when we've got all these other talents, you know, Timo, Thiago Silva, who deserves a special mention as well? Why am I so hyped about it? Well, because he's what I call a hybrid. Let me explain. We have had, in the past, great players at Chelsea. We are a big club, and we've been lucky to have some of the world's best talent. We had Juan Mata with his passing range and his creativity. We had Hazard with his trickery. We've had Lampard with his goals from midfield and his long shots. I see a bit of all of those things in Ziyech alone. He's a hybrid. We've taken a little bit. He does everything great. Nothing incredible. That sounds like I'm dissing him. I'm not. He does everything great. Do you know how hard that is as a footballer? He's got Hazard's trickery. He's got Lampard's ability to score goals from distance. He's got that incredible pinpoint passing accuracy. I cannot compliment this man enough on what I've seen so far, and from what I already saw with him during his time at Ajax. I was a big fan. So I think it's pretty clear that going forward, he's going to be a key part of our plans. I hope he stays injury-free. I hope he plays with confidence and the freedom to express himself, because that's when he's at his best. I think he'll be key for us throughout the whole season, and he's gone straight into my fantasy football team. No question. I'm also pleased that the main problem's been fixed, and by that, of course, I mean the defence. We were leaking goals, left, right, centre, sloppy goals. The guys looked like they were scared, you know, to go and attack the ball. Teams were putting 3 or 4 past us that shouldn't have been. And we've seen that happening, you know, even at the start of this season. You think back to the 3-3 draw with West Brom. You're thinking, West Brom put 3 past us, man, in like a half. What is going on there? But that seems to have fixed. I think the addition of Thiago Silva is the key to that. Obviously, Kepa going out, Mendy coming in. He's done a fantastic job, giving me a bit of a confidence boost that we're going to go into a game going, do you know what? We're going to win this game. Because normally when you go into a game going, oh, we're going to concede 2, so we need to concede, you know, we need to at least score 3 to have a chance. That's no way to go into a game. And I think that's what was happening. Subconsciously, or whether they would like to admit it openly, That's how we were approaching games, and you can't do that, especially if you're going to be a team going in for, you know, the top 4 in the Champions League or title challengers, as we want to be this year. We did have that period where we had a few 0-0 draws in a row, and yes, that was massively frustrating. Nobody wants to watch a 0-0 draw. I think I was tweeting out, like, these are dead performances, but actually, you know, take the emotion out of it. You should be very grateful for those 0-0 draws. It was Sevilla, not a bad team. Got to win your home Champions League group games, in my opinion, but a draw nonetheless. They know how to score goals, especially in Europe. Then we had the 0-0 draw at Man United, not having the best of seasons themselves, but again, for us, at that period of time in our project, not a bad result. So I think the frustration is okay. It's okay to have it, but you've also got to be grateful. You've got to show gratitude for the work that is clearly going on behind the scenes with Frank, with the defenders on the training ground, in the dressing room, whatever's happening. The leader of men that is Thiago Silva, I think, is playing his part. We've seen some great leadership from Aspi so far this season as well. I know the emergence of Reece James means he's not always the first name on the team sheet like he used to be, but they're clicking at the back. They're clicking. New goalkeeper, spine of the team looking good. I'm happy. Now, it's time to prove that we have turned a corner. You know, you can't just chuck a couple of clean sheets in the middle of the season and go, yeah, that's it, we're done. We've solved that defensive issue. No, if we're going to turn a corner, we've got to do it properly. Tomorrow, in my opinion, is our chance to do that against Newcastle. St James's Park, not always a happy hunting ground for us either. I think we've had some terrible results there, and I think when you add into the mix that we're coming off the back of an international break, it's Saturday, it's an early kickoff, the geographical distance between the two clubs, this will not by no means be an easy game. They've beaten us 2 in our last 5 visits, which you're thinking, that's all right for an away record. It's not really. Newcastle have struggled for a number of years. I use the term struggle. They're a massive club. They are a huge English club, but they're not challenging for titles. They're not competing for Europe at the moment, are they? So to lose 2 out of 5 trips to Newcastle for a team that is doing all of those things that I just mentioned isn't acceptable. So we now have to prove, you know, they haven't got any superstar names either. There's no real threat. They've got Callum Wilson. They've got some good players, but there's no superstar. You don't think we have to stop this man. So yeah, this for me is a real test of character. The chance to send out a message to the rest of the Premier League and say, do you know what? We're back. We're Chelsea. We're coming back for that Premier League title. And this season we are sticking around. We are genuine contenders. Tomorrow is that chance to turn this corner. So in terms of a match prediction, I'm going to go with a narrow 2-1 Chelsea victory. That's the confident me. The reality check me is going to go for like a 2-2 score draw. I always have this like pessimistic thing in the back of my head going, we don't expect too much. And that is just to prevent disappointment from years of being a Chelsea fan. In the past, when I was at school, you know, back in the day, we weren't a great side. We'd be left disappointed, and I hate coming away from a game disappointed. But I'll stick with my confident side. I'm going to say Newcastle 1, Chelsea 2 tomorrow. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your predictions down in the comments below. Once again, thank you so much for your patience while I got back up to the speed of things and generally just sorted my life out, to be honest. We are now a full-time content creator, so these videos aren't going to go anywhere. Check out the links to my other channels below, social medias as well, Twitter, Instagram, and all that jazz. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow with a match review and hopefully another 3 points for Chelsea.